Okay, folks, how you doing this afternoon? Making a video this afternoon. I was going to make one of Israel this weekend, but we're going to skip that for just a little bit, delay it a little bit anyhow, until I can get some other things done that I want to show you folks. Because I'm having some people tell me, now listen, Jerry, you mean to tell me that you think that the aristocracy runs this entire world, that, our elected leaders, are all part of a cabal, that they're part of a bloodline from Rome and Europe and stuff and so forth, and we're really not electing presidents and stuff like that? You really believe that? Yes, I believe that completely, okay? So what we're going to do this evening, we're going to judge a tree by its fruit on some of this stuff, and I'm going to just show you a few things. If you got a little bit of time here, and I think you may find what I want to show you quite interesting, okay? First of all, another thing, people have a tough time with this idea that, hey, Satan runs this world. So let me read you some passages about whether Satan runs things in the world that we live in or not. In Job chapter 2, verse 2, it said, "And the Lord said unto Satan, From where comest thou? And Satan answered unto the Lord, and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down and in it." Right here in the world we live in. In Luke chapter 4, verses 6, 7, and 8, it says, "And the devil said unto Jesus, All this power I give to thee, and the glory of them, if that is delivered, that which is delivered unto me, and to whomever I will give it. If thou therefore would worship me, all shall be thine." In other words, he was given all the kingdoms and everything that he owns here in this world to Jesus if he would just bow down and worship him, okay? And Jesus answered and said unto him, "Get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt I serve." So, the Lord didn't tell Satan, listen. He basically told him, no, I serve God and God only, and the Lord thy God, and not you. But get this, folks. He didn't tell Satan, this is not yours to give, because he knew that it was. Okay? So I just wanted to get that straight with you there. He runs this world, folks. All right? And the warfare that we have in this world, let me read you this before we get underway with the pictures and so forth. The warfare of the Spirit-filled believers in Ephesians. "My brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wills of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Now that's what I want you to remember, what it says in Ephesians. We wrestle against it in high places. That means high places and authorities of government, folks. That's what that means, okay? So, with that in mind, we're going to move on to the idea of, hey, does the aristocracy run this world, like people says? Well, first of all, I want to tell you this afternoon, folks, a lot of you are looking into this Clinton thing about the Epstein guy dying, and there's so many of you like, oh God, I'm in shock. Maybe, just maybe, the Clintons could be involved in child sex trafficking, just maybe. Listen, folks, it ain't just the Clintons, it's all of them, okay? It's every single one of them. They're all involved in sicko activities. None of them are into anything good. And no, you're not electing presidents in this country. All right? I mean, I don't know, it's hard for me to even still grasp the concept that people still believe that they're actually electing presidents. Because I'm so far past that, and I've been past it for a long time. They're all along of the same bloodline of kings of yesteryear and Caesars of Rome and stuff. And it's all the same pharaonic bloodline, okay? I'll prove that to you one day. But anyway, I'm going to take you here to Jerusalem. And here in Jerusalem, you've got the UN meditation, or the UN council room, rather, okay, UN council. Up to the hill of evil is where that they put this place. It's really kind of hard to make that up, man. Hill of evil. This is where the son Absalom of King David conspired to kill King David. This is where that the Pharisees and the Sadducees conspired to kill Jesus. This is also where Judas, was paid 30 pieces of gold to betray Jesus. Okay, and this UN structure that's up on this hill of evil, it's actually centered in the middle of the peace forest. Okay, the peace forest. I mean, it's hard to make this kind of stuff up, guys. But the rebuilding of the third temple is being overseen from this hill too, right where the Dome of the Rock is right now. And this third temple is being laid out according to what the exact specifications of what King Herod's temple was. Okay? So that ought to tell you a whole lot right there, folks. And King Herod's temple, if it's being laid out like that, that is not blessed by God, folks. Because King Herod, if you know anything at all about that, which we'll get into it another day, he wasn't the kind of king that was the king of God, okay? All right. Now, inside this UN council room, the structure there, you have all your big leaders, folks, that gets together there, and they discuss the problems of the world, and they discuss a lot of different things. It's where they're all supposed to get together and decide the fate of nations, the fate of the world, the fate of you, all that stuff. So that's where all the big leaders go. Our leaders here in the United States, every big leader in the entire world, practically. Now, above this this conference room that they're in, there is a series of pictures, murals, if you will, that's up on the wall of this place. And I just want us to take a look. Now, again, we're going to judge a tree by the fruit that it bears on this stuff, okay? So the first mural that I've got for you here is actually the Phoenix Rising symbology. And notice the Phoenix has shed his old skin. And like a beautiful bird to the world, he now is depicted as a beautiful swan phoenix type symbol and is no longer a black serpent. Okay, that's what that symbolizes. And moving on to the second one here, the horse that is in this picture represents the death and destruction of the world. And it actually is a symbology of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, okay? And if you notice in this mural, the man is releasing him. Now, on this third one that we've got, this one represents military strength as the leader of this military tips his hat to the elite climbing out from the underground bunkers that they were in to avoid the nuclear apocalypse, okay? Buddy. Let's move on to the fourth one here I want to show you. Married couple kneeling submissively under the evil deity that's above them. Perhaps it could be William and Kate of England. And that sort of looks a whole lot like that, but that's a disturbing mural. I mean, every one of them are. All right, moving on to the fifth mural. The fifth mural you got is a sword stuck in the black snake. It's loaded, that's below the phoenix that we looked at a moment ago. And it symbolizes the death and destruction of all religions that depict Satan as a serpent. And the New World religion depicts him as beautiful. And guys, that's the whole thing. The face of Satan is about ready to change from what people used to know it in yesteryear. It's not going to be. We are no longer, folks, in the era of Pisces. We are now in the age of the divine feminine. That's what we're in. And it's not going to be too long till it goes on into the Masonic era there, because That's not going to last all that long. But we're not in the same age we were 10 years ago, folks. I hate to tell you that. We're not. And so, this sixth mural that I got shows a church steeple without a cross representing the death and falling away of all Christianity. That's already taken place, and it has been taking place about the same time that the Church of Notre Dame burnt down in France. And you're just going to continue to see it do that. In this seventh mural that I've got, there's a green monster dancing with a naked woman while musicians entertain him. You can't make this kind of stuff up, guys. I couldn't make it up if I tried. I'm not smart enough to make up stuff like this. Now, the eighth mural you got, there's a girl receiving the rays of the sun god while a man plays Pan's flute. And finally, this last one that I'm going to show you here, well, it's actually a conglomeration of two of them. You got a slavery of a black man while the mural shows an advanced white race above it, which controls technology of arts and science. Now, you guys know how I feel about that. Racism is not of the Lord in any whatsoever. Slavery is not of the Lord of any race of people. So now, you know how I feel about that. I'm just simply showing you the picture. I'm not telling you anything other than that. I condone that kind of thing. But now, I'll tell you what, that picture makes me come to another kind of something that I'd like to point out. All the times that Obama ended up coming to this place, and some of these other African American leaders and black leaders of the world, why didn't they say anything about this mural? And that kind of comes to mind with me as just an average person, because it just, it's obvious what it is. What the people can't grasp, folks, is your elected officials all throughout the world are involved in an apocalyptic scheme to enslave the masses. And you're like, now Jerry, well, what do you think, guys? If you see me going into my room and I had 4 or 5 disturbing images above my bed and above my desk, and I was coming to some decisions and conclusions underneath those things, you'd think I was, something was wrong, wouldn't you? That I was creepy, or I was, satanic or whatever. But yet you won't think anything of your elected officials who do this kind of thing. And finally, after these people make all these decisions in this meditation room, in the council, they can go to the UN meditation room, which is very not far at all from the UN Security Council room. And this meditation room, it's got the black cube. I've showed this before. It was founded by the Rockefellers. Of course, it's 33 feet long, I think, representing the 33rd degrees of Freemasonry. It's 18 feet wide, and that's 6 plus 6 plus 6, and it's in the form of a triangle laying flat on the ground. And so after your leaders get through talking in the council room about all of this stuff underneath these disturbing murals, then they turn right around, and if they want to meditate on it, they come in here where this 6.5-ton black cube is. It's extremely magnetic, and it's supposed to be so that they can tap in to their hyperdimensional energies for a higher state of consciousness. Can't make this kind of stuff up, folks. You can't. I couldn't make it up if I tried, okay? And finally, there's this last picture that I wanted to show you right here. Isn't it such a big, huge coincidence that we've also, during the 9/11 tragedy, we had the black cube show up there at 9/11. Oh, no, Jerry, God, you can't tell me that. Oh, my God, look at that. Oh, God, no. I want all of you to go on ahead and tell me the same thing you've been telling me all this time, okay? That has to be some coincidence, Jerry. It has to be a coincidence that it's like that. It just can't mean that our leaders are all satanic in this world. It can't do it. And they've planned all this stuff out. Yes, they have. And yes, they are. These people that you've got that runs this country, these people you got that runs this world, these people that are in elected high places, They're just like these big preachers that's on television, okay? If they wasn't part of this at this point in time in our history, they wouldn't be in elected high positions to begin with. Because just like I tried to show you a moment ago, Satan runs this world, folks. And that's just the way that it is for the days that we live in. I think I just proved that. If that doesn't prove that to you, that is just something, man. That they would actually go in there and talk about what they're going to do in this world under such creepy, pathetic murals like that, and then go into a meditation room that has a black cube, that has a bunch of wires and stuff going down into the ground to tap into the hyperdimensional consciousness that they need to get into. But guys, normal people don't do stuff like that, okay? I'm here to tell you right now they don't. I mean, so he can only add up to one thing for me. And many people think that the way that I believe about this stuff, that just something has to be wrong, Jerry. It just can't be this way. Yes, it can too. I am a perfect example, folks, of an average everyday man that goes to work every day, that has a good temperament about him, that loves everybody that I come in contact with, and I try my best, folks. But I am a very good example that an average man here in the United States has awakened to what's going on. I see it for what it is. And when this upcoming presidential election rolls around, I will not be casting my vote. And you're like, well, Lord, Jerry, you're not, guys. Both of them, they're on the same side. You know, they're on the same side. And if there was two brothers went down the road and they both burn a bunch of houses down, and then they come back and I had to let one of the other of those people, both of them they're in the part of the same cabal, people. You're not electing presidents in this country, and the sooner that people realize that, the better. People just can't grasp the concept that this stuff is what it is. Just like those buildings that fell down in 9/11, folks. Them buildings fell all the way to the ground, and with those big cast iron beams that goes in those buildings, those things can't break apart like a cracker all the way to the ground. And then a big black cube sitting there watching it too, that they have archaeologically just figured out, you know. Building architects, they figured it out what to do with that. And it should show you something else too. This stuff that you see like that, no man can plan this out. No man can plan stuff like that for a black cube to be in front of a tragedy like that. No man can predict these specifications that goes on and these exact measurements, geometrical measurements from one obelisk to another and stuff like's going on. No man can do that. And so you need to wake up. And you need to realize the time that we're in, okay? I thank you much. A little bit later on next week, I'm going to get to part 3 of Israel out. But for now, I want you to enjoy this video and think about what I'm telling you. Have a good afternoon on Sunday. We'll see you in a few days.